Assalamu alaikum, ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban bikum, you all are welcome back. Let's consider these two sentences on the board. The first one says, Darabal abul walada. The father beat the son. The second says, Duribal waladu. Now, this is the topic of discussion today. In the first sentence, we can see we have three words making up the sentence. The first one, daraba, is the verb. Then we have al-abu, the father, which is the subject, which we call al-fa'ilu in the Arabic language. Then we have al-walada here as the object called maf'ulun bihi in the Arabic language. This makes up a complete sentence because we have the doer of the action, which is the father, and the receiver of the action, the son. But in the second sentence, we can see the disappearance of the doer, of the original doer, which is the father. Here we now have duribal waladu, and also the verb has been altered. Instead of daraba, we now have duriba. What is this? This is because the first sentence was in the active voice, while this is in the passive voice. What the hell is passive and active? I shall explain that to you. Now you can see duribal waladu. What is the meaning? It simply means the boy was beaten. Now, who is the beater? It is unknown. So, you can already know the difference between these two sentences. The first one is an active sentence which mentions the doer and also receiver of the action of beating, while the second sentence, only the receiver of the action has been mentioned. And this is an important topic in the Arabic language because you can see that originally the verb daraba, which means he beat, has now been changed to duriba, making the first letter to now carry doma and the second to carry kisra, making it duriba. So any other verb, triliteral verb, especially in the Arabic language, could be changed this way. Like when you have the word shariba, he drank. It could simply turn to shuriba, it was drunk. When you have the word, what other word can I give? When you have the word fataha, he opened. Futiha, it was opened. That is the first thing, that the verb will be changed into this pattern. The second is that the word, which was originally the object of the sentence, because al-walada was originally the object, but now it now becomes what? Naibul fa'il, which we call the pro-agent or the agent of the subject, because this is now an assistant subject. Therefore, it carries the rule which was guiding the subject of the sentence, which makes it to now carry doma. So that's why we have duribal waladu. Again, darabal abul walada, the father beat the son. Al-abu was the subject of the sentence, therefore it was in the rafu case, in the nominative case, carrying doma. Now that the abun, the father, has been eliminated, and the father has been erased, it is no longer there, then al-walad now takes the position of the father, therefore carrying doma. Duribal waladu, the boy was beaten. Who beat him? We don't know. Now another example to add to this will be coming in the present form. The same sentence we used, I can say yadribul abul walada. The father is beating the son. Now to put it in the passive voice, I will simply say yudrobul waladu. The boy is being beaten. Just as we made the changes in the past tense verb from fataha, from daraba to duriba, the present tense verb, the changes will also be seen as you can see it. So yadoribu will now become yudorobu, simply changing the ya to carry doma and the second to the last letter to carry in fatha. I can also give an example and say yaftahu Ali yunil baba. Ali is opening the door. In the passive voice, I will say yuftahul babu. The door is being opened. This is very easy. And this is an important topic in Arabic language. But in order to get the full detail of this topic, let's come back to our book An-Nahwu al-Wadih, the grammar book, which we've always recommended that you purchase your copy or download the PDF file through the link left for you in the description box. Let's come here to the topic. Here we have Naibul Fa'il, Naib. In the mosque, you have an imam and you have Naibul Imam. Naibul Imam simply means the assistant, the assistant or the deputy imam. So al-fa'il means the subject. So na'ibul fa'il, the deputy, the assistant of the subject. And you already have a clue about that. Let's come here. We have al-amthila, plenty examples. The first example says Fatahal waladul baba. The boy opened the door. On this side we have Futihal babu. The door was opened. Now the boy is no longer there. Number 2, we have Akal al fa'rul jubna. The rat ate the cheese. Here we have Ukil al jubnu. The cheese was eaten. We have Kasaratil hirratul inaa. The cat broke the plate. We have Kusirul ina'u. The plate was broken. We have cut off atil bintu zahrata. The girl cut off the rose or the flower. We have kutifati zahratu. The zahra, the flower, was cut off. Tajma'un, or was gathered. Now we have tajma'un namlat sulgida. The ant is gathering the foods. We have yujma'ul gida. The foods are being gathered. We have Yarukabu Aliyun al-Hisana. Ali is riding the horse. We have Yurukabu al-Hisanu. The horse is being riding. We have Tahlibul Mar'atul Baqarata. The girl, the woman is milking the cow. Tuhlabul Baqaratu. The cow is being milked. We have Tuhadhibul Muallimatul Binta. The female teacher is training and torturing, is training the girl. We have Tuhadhabul Bintu. The girl is being trained. Now you can see these examples house both present tense verb and how they could be changed from the active voice to the passive voice and even the past tense verb. Here we have انظر إلى الأمثلة الأربعة الأولى من القسم الأول. Look at the first 4 examples from the first section. You will see تجد أن كل مثال يشتمل على فعل ماض وفاعل ومفعول به. In the first section, the first 4 examples, you will see that they all have a past tense verb and also a subject and even an object of the sentence. ثم وزن كل مثال منها بالمثال الذي أمامه في القسم الثاني. Then you are to compare and weigh this example with the second section example in front of them and see the difference. تجد أن المعنى متحد في كل مثالين متقابلين. You will now see that these 2 examples facing one another, the meaning of to be conveyed are still conveyed. وتشاهد في أمثلة القسم الثاني. You will now see that in the examples of the second section أن الفعل الماضي, that the past tense verb حدث تغيير في الشكل. You see that the nature, the form of the verbs are being changed. فالحرف الأول منه صار مضموما. You see that the first letter has now been changed to carrying ضمة. والحرف الذي قبل آخره صار مكسورا. While the second to the last letter is being made to carry كسر. وأن الفاعل حذف. You also see that the subject has been omitted in the second section examples. وناب عنه المفعول به. While the object of the sentence are now serving as the assistant to the subject. فأصبح مرفوعا بعد أن كان منصوبا. Therefore, the noun subject which are serving as assistants are now in the case of nominativeness carrying dhamma, while previously they were carrying fatha. وإذا وزنت الأمثلة الأربعة الثانية. Now, if you are to weigh down the second example of the first section في القسم الأول بما أمامه في القسم الثاني, if you weigh them against the examples in front of them from the second section, رأيت أن كل مضارع في القسم الثاني تغير شكله. You also find out that all the present tense verbs their voices and their shape have changed. فصار أوله مضموما. You will now see that the first letters are now carrying dhamma. والحرف الذي قبل آخره مفتوحا. While the letters before the end is now carrying fatha. ورأيت أيضا أن الفاعل حذف. You also see that in the second section the fa'il subject has been omitted. وناب عنه مفعول به. Why the object now stand in their places. فصار مرفوع, and therefore it is now in the nominative case بعد أن كان منصوبا, while it was previously in the accusative case. هذا المفعول به الذي أصبح مرفوعا. These objects which have now become subject of the sentence في أمثلة القسم الثاني, in the second section examples, جميعها, all of these objects are called يسمى نائب الفاعل. They are all called the assistant subject. وإذا تأملت الأمثلة, and if you are to study the examples, الرابع والسابع والثامن. Example 7. Example 4, 7 and 8. علمت بالبداهة أن نائب الفاعل إذا كان مؤنثا كان الفعل مؤنثا أيضا. You will know that the subject of the sentence, the naib file, the assistant of the subject, if it is a feminine word, كان الفعل مؤنثا, the verb will also be a feminine verb. Now we have al-qawaid, the rules. The first rule says naibul fa'il, the assistant of the subject, ismun marfu'un, is always a nominative noun, halla mahalla al-fa'il ba'da hadfihi, which now takes the place of the subject after the subject has been omitted. Normal example, the other rule says إذا أسند الفعل إلى نائب الفاعل, if an action of a verb is being attached to the assistant subject, وكان ماضيا, while it was in the past form, ضم أوله, the first letter will be made to carry ضمة, وكسر الحرف الذي قبل آخره, while the second to the last letter will be made to carry كسرة. وإن كان مضارعا, and if it is to be a present tense verb, ضم أوله, the beginning will carry ضمة, وفتح الحرف الذي قبل آخره, while the second to the last letter will be made to carry فتحة. والفعل الذي يحدث في هذا التغيير يسمى مبنيا للمجهول. And any verb which undergoes these changes is said to be built upon al-majhul, the unknown, because the subject is unknown. The last rule says إذا كان نائب الفاعل مؤنثا, if the assistant subject which you have now learned is a feminine word, is feminine, كان الفعل مؤنثا, the verb will also be a feminine verb.